What's up, Playboys? We got a surprise show tonight. We're going to have a little gambling corner. Here with me, my co-host, Cole Lepchitz. Cole, what's going on, buddy?
Man, I'm here for the bonus pod, man. I'm feeling extra chatty tonight. We got a big day. We got a big weekend, man. It was started great with the Thursday night, and it just got me hyped, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling right. I just came from softball, played 2 games, got 2 dubs. One of them was a walk-off. You know, I hit a home run as well into the wind. That one felt good. Just getting back into it, man.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Yeah, I feel like we kind of owed an episode since we missed the last 2 Sunday nights, I think. But really, I think a Friday night episode right before college football and then the NFL, your gambling brain is at peak powers right now. Like, I feel like
no doubt
I could pick every NFL game, give you a pick on it, and it's going to hit. I'm completely wrong, but that's how I feel in this moment.
I mean, that's just how it is Friday night, man. You got the juices flowing. You've just been grinding all week, and Friday nights are just different. I mean, that's why it's a Friday night. You know, it's probably one of the best nights, if not the best night of the week. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I could sit here and I could debate over-unders and spreads and tell you why, especially NFL, just because there's not as many teams. College, I could probably do a select few. But I don't know, man. I love it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's being up here and it's, on the app and it's legal or what. I don't know. But I'm like super into it. I'm like trying to read Vegas's mind 24/7. But it's only Friday night Cole that's like that. You ask any other Cole on a different night, he's just not feeling it. He's like, man, I don't know. He's down himself. Friday night Cole's a different animal. He's all in.
Yeah, I have just restricted myself to don't even do anything Monday through Thursday because like yesterday I was sitting there and I was like, I think the Steelers are the play. Obviously they weren't. But
they were not.
Thursday Braylon thought they were. Friday Braylon knows they're not.
Yep.
And would have been on the Browns.
Yeah, I mean Monday through we'll say Tuesday. Monday I wasn't thinking about it. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday Cole was like, yep. I mean, it's the Steelers all the way. They're the better team. But then, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the first quarter and I'm thinking, I guess Jacoby Brissett's been around for a minute. Oh, yeah, they got Amari Cooper. Oh, and the wind's not blowing as hard as they said it was going to. Which, every time, I have beef with the weathermen, whoever. We need to get us a weather person because people they're like, yeah, it's going to be raining, the wind's going to be blowing, it's going to be nasty weather, go the under. And every time they make a big deal about it, except that one time in Buffalo. But every time, it's not even a big deal. I guess technology is just so advanced where they know how to judge the wind, the throws in the wind, and they can get dry balls in there all the time, and they just know how to stay dry. I don't know. I'm not listening to nerds anymore about games.
Yeah, I'm about to. What year do you think Jacoby Brissett was drafted? If you were to guess.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's see. He came out of NC State, right?
Yes.
Oh, maybe 2012. That feels right.
2016.
Dang.
Jacoby Brissett feels like he's been in the NFL for 12 years. He's only 28 or 29.
He was on the squad with Tom and Garoppolo.
Yes. All 3 of those.
And
those are the same quarterback room. All 3 of them are starting right now.
They got dealt. Dude, Belichick's an animal, man. 1, he's got the nerve to get all those guys in the same room. 2, he's got the nerve to get rid of all of them.
All 3 of them, literally. Even Tom left.
Even the GOAT.
Now he's got McCorkle.
Dude's a savage. Hey, that dude's a savage too. I wouldn't mind having McCorkle in my corner.
Let's start with some college football since that's what's first. We can just run through some key games and then give a card at the end of what you think you're going to bet or what you will be betting.
Okay. Yeah, let me get this top 20. We'll go top 25 games. So I'm working off my phone.
The one you first brought up to me was Minnesota, Michigan State.
Yeah, we'll start with that one. I think that one's probably the tightest game of the weekend to look at. Minnesota is a 2-point favorite or 2.5-point favorite on the road at Michigan State, who I heard a guy earlier in the week say they have more holes than a spaghetti strainer in their defense. So, I think that guy's probably going to be right. But what is Iowa State bringing to the table is my question. And I know they got a great coach. So
great
at home,
stretch.
They might be. You don't think he's a great coach?
We actually talked about this the other day in the
paddle the boat.
Yeah. I already know what's going to happen with Auburn football is we're going to fire Harsin and we're going to hire PJ Fleck. Because he is what Auburn wants to a T. His offense stinks. His defense stinks. He dresses like a dork. And he has these weird cliches that he just runs with. And that is exactly what the boosters want.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, if it's not, if it's not Dion or what's the other guy's name? Guy at Liberty.
Hugh Freeze.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Hugh Freeze. I kept wanting to say David Freeze, but I was like, he hits home runs.
Yeah. Cardinals legend.
That one time he did. Yeah, I mean, PJ Fleck would be a weird one, but for some reason, it does seem like it fits the mold, I guess. But let's give you some facts. So it's at Iowa State. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong one. No, I'm not. Yes, I am.
Minnesota, Michigan State.
Yeah, what am I doing? Sorry, the colors are similar.
One of the worst color schemes in football, too.
Yeah, just terrible.
Iowa State is brutal to watch.
Okay, here we go. Now we're tracking. Minnesota at Michigan State. Minnesota's undefeated. It's moved to 3. -3, and the over-under is at 50. I don't really know much about that over-under. Let's see. It looks like the money is pretty even on either side. So, I don't know. This one's going to be a gut check, I think.
Yeah, does it show what it opened at?
I can give you that answer.
By the way, do you know who Minnesota's quarterback is?
Give me a second. No.
It's Tanner Morgan. Still. He's got to be 30 years
Really?
old.
If only they had that same running back.
He's been there forever.
So the line opened up at -1.5.
And the money's even and the line's going towards Minnesota.
It opened up. Yeah, it opened up for Michigan State -1.5.
So that would
flipped.
I'm not going to take it, but if I was going to, I would definitely take Minnesota then.
Got to, right? Got to.
There's only one reason the line's moving.
Yeah, and I bet this is one where they were like, what are we going to do with this? Like, who do we, like Vegas making the lines? Like, they're like, maybe we should just let the market decide and just kind of set it even and see where it goes. So, I don't know. This one's a tough one. I'll probably just stay away from it. I was looking at it, though, like, it might be one. Let's see what time is kickoff. Kickoff is at 3:30. I mean, if you do good in that 12 o'clock stop, if you do good tonight or do good at the 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, I mean, you might want to throw some sprinkles on it.
Minnesota does have like I said, Tanner Morgan. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is his 6th year there, and their running back is one of the best players in the country. So if Michigan State's defense is as bad as we think they are, there's a good chance they just run all over them.
It depends. I think their front seven is fine. Like, I think they're okay. It's their back. It's the back end of their defensive secondary that is just awful. And Washington they can throw it, though. That's the difference. I don't know what Minnesota brings, but I mean, they might have to bring that secondary down, to help stop the run, and then if they can just hit a couple play action passes or something, I'm sure they got somebody that can run deep, and it's probably you just throw it up to them. I don't know. That will be one that I look at for sure. Next big one. Let's do one for the 12 o'clock slot. Well, I mean, I guess we could do Iowa State and Baylor. Iowa State is at home and is a 2.5 favorite, 2.5 point favorite. Baylor is an underdog on the road again.
Back-to-back weeks for Baylor being an underdog. So maybe Vegas doesn't think they're as good as what the voters do.
Yeah, I mean, they're all the way down at 17. Their only losses to BYU, which, I mean, I'm going to be honest, how good is BYU? I mean, I think they're still pretty solid, but I need to see it again, I guess, because, I mean, getting ran out the gym by Oregon's not a great look, which I think Oregon's a little bit better. But either way, it looks like most of the bets are on Baylor. I think when it gets to conference play, man, it's hard. When these even games like this, it's hard to take the home, like, or take the visiting dog. Like, it just feels weird, especially when it's that small.
Yeah. I don't know a ton about either one of these teams. I know I was pretty low on Baylor to start the year, and they just got hammered.
And I think I've flipped on Baylor. Like, I thought they were going to be good, and they just did not. They're not performing like I thought they would. Another one in that 12 o'clock slot. I don't know how much you want to talk about this one, so you don't jinx anything. But Auburn, Mizzou, pretty interesting at -7 right now with the over/under of 51. Line opened at 9.5, and it came back down to Auburn. I still think, even though TJ is out, and I mean, I would assume that Robbie Ashford is going to be the guy the whole game. I don't know why you would bring that other guy in unless Robbie Ashford just throws for like 5 picks, and just needs to get pulled. But, like, why would you not just hand him the keys and be like, hey, man, let's see what you can do. Like, here's your tryout for next year.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I mean, Brian Harsin won't be there, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
If you lose this one, he won't be there
so
Monday.
I don't know, but well, Jimmy Raines says otherwise, but, I guess we'll see.
No, that'll be it. If you lose to Missouri as Auburn head coach, you're done. Especially after last week.
I mean, is it his fault, though? I don't think it's his fault.
We saw what
TJ Finley's dad's fault.
We saw what TJ Finley was all last year, and you punished us for 3 games, making us watch him again. So, there's rumors of the freshman getting a start because Calzada underwent shoulder surgery, so Calzada's out the rest of the year. TJ's out, so you've got Ashford, who I've heard Ashford's banged up too. So,
oh, geez,
you may just turn and just give the keys to the freshman. And if the freshman is good, if he is any good, you fire Harsin immediately because he was here. I didn't have to watch TJ Finley anymore to see if he's any good. I already knew he wasn't any good. If this quarterback, he better be awful for Brian Harsin's sake. That way he can say, you see what I'm working with. I've got 4 quarterbacks. All of them stink. And I'll say, okay, I get it. But if this guy's good, I'll say, dude, you pack your bags. You get out of here.
I mean, you got to send him on his way either way. And I would say it's, if you really just want to torture him, like he's been tortured the whole time he's been there, I'd keep him the whole year and just make him grind it out. Make him answer the questions to the press 3 times a week. Make him go to practice and game plan. Because if not, he's going to be sitting at home, with $20 million in the bank. Like, make him grind it out. Don't give him the easy out. You haven't so far, you know what I mean? Like, why not? Why start or why stop now? And then just bench Tank Bigsby, save him like whatever career he has left. That's what I would do. I would just consider it a wash.
I would fire him the week before Alabama, and I'd go hire Coach O for one day. I'd give Coach O a milli just to come coach against Alabama, because he's the greatest 1 week coach of all time. Like everywhere he's went.
So?
Yes, as an interim coach.
Oh yeah, he's been an interim a bunch.
I bet he's never lost as an interim coach.
Undefeated, never lost.
LSU fired him last year and let him stay. Like, they fired him and just said, "You're the best interim coach we can get. You might as well just stay."
And this is a 12 o'clock game, man. I don't know what it is about 12 o'clock games at Jordan-Hare, but whatever goes on at nighttime, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the worst of the worst. I just don't know. I mean, it leaves me clueless. As far as betting goes, I took the under in this game. I got it at 51.5, which is what it's still at. I think we're going to get a good showing of what the punters are going to look like for both teams. Like by the end of the night, or by the end of the afternoon, we're going to know each team's punter pretty well. Because Auburn's defense isn't awful.
It's not.
I think they have some issues, but I mean, it's still the same dudes. It's been there.
The defense
not
is
the same dude. We won't say the exact same dudes. It's not the right verbiage, but it's the same kind of mentality and physicality that y'all have always had. So, I mean, they're not terrible. Like, they'll be able to get stops.
The defense's biggest problem is the offense. Like, when you're starting, when the other team gets the ball on their own 35 because of your third interception of the game, then, it's going to be tough to stop them.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll stay in the SEC. Florida's going to Tennessee. Line opened up at 9.5 for Tennessee, and it is now at 10.5 with the over/under to 63.5. This is one I haven't made any action on it yet. I'm kind of waiting to see. I was going to get Braylon's thoughts, to be honest, and see what y'all think as well. Because this one has me stumped. Like, how good is Florida? Like, we know they're all right, at least, but how good is Tennessee at the same time? It's just a tough call. I feel like Tennessee's the better team, but I just don't know if I could bet on it.
Yeah,
with confidence.
History tells you to take Florida because I think Tennessee's beat them twice in the last 12 years or something like that. But then again, Florida's quarterback has 0 passing touchdowns and 3 tackles. So, that's not good.
No. And you're going into the second biggest stadium in the country.
And Tennessee is balled in. Like, Tennessee right now thinks they're the third best team in the SEC, and, they're going to give Alabama and Georgia a run for their money. That's what the Tennessee fan base thinks.
And their attitude has just carried over from baseball. I mean, the worst thing that we could do this year is let their baseball team be any kind of good, because you know that they're all just going to be super cocky, like they're the best everything school around.
Yeah, which they're not. That's Auburn through and through. But
no, I thought about it today. I think Auburn's the everything else school. You know what I mean?
Nope. What do you mean?
They're like the everything else. They're not really great at football, but they're pretty good at everything else. So you can't really call them an everything school.
Well, I mean,
I would say Arkansas or LSU is probably the truest everything school, because LSU is literally good at everything except football right now. I mean, you look at track, you look at softball,
we don't have to do that.
Swimming.
We don't have to do that.
Everything. baseball.
Core 4.
I mean, everything, bro.
I'll give you softball. You can take softball, baseball, basketball, football. We'll go core 5 and equestrian to keep things fair.
I don't think equestrian should be in the loop.
Equestrian's more of a sport than women's basketball.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you there. I'm gonna have to disagree because nobody knows the jockey's name that was riding Rich Strike, but everybody knows who Rich Strike is.
Exactly. There you go.
So that's my take on that. But yeah, I think Auburn's a good. I think it's a good everything else school. I mean that's what I would, lay my hat on if I'm an Auburn fan. I would take it. I would take that and run with it. Because like Alabama right now, it's just a football school, and we have to wear that on our chest. Is that a terrible thing? No, it's fine. It's cool. Like we compete in basketball and baseball is sometimes there, sometimes not, and it is what it is. But we have to be a football school for now, and it's just reality. So I mean, if I would take an everything else school as a compliment, just because y'all are good at everything else. Like basketball, y'all are good. Baseball, y'all are really good. Softball, I haven't really kept up with, but I know y'all used to be good. So I mean, I don't,
Yeah. I mean, I've turned into the biggest Auburn basketball guy there is. I'm dying for basketball season to get here.
I bet you.
Like, I am so ready for basketball season to be here.
What player are y'all going to hold back this year?
Yeah, we held a guy back. He was, the number 3 pick in the draft?
Nah, buddy, he fell way, way down there. I think he was like 7. Could have been 1.
He should have been 1.
Back.
He should have been 1. I mean, Chet's already out for a year.
Y'all held him back. It should never have been a question. The gremlin was taking too many shots.
We scored, 100 on Alabama? We were holding him back.
Dude, bro, get out of here. Get out of here. How about he hit a free throw against Alabama, huh? What, was he nervous? He went like 1 for 5 on free throws.
He probably didn't think it mattered.
Coliseum.
He probably didn't. It didn't even matter. I think we won by 40.
He didn't watch the film from the year before when y'all got swept.
And then what happened? Ooh. Swept you this year.
Okay, congrats. Tell your best player to make free throws in Coleman Coliseum. Dude was shaking.
He won't be there.
He was so terrified. I don't care, man. I don't care. Y'all held him back, and you have to live with that.
Anyways, my favorite play for tomorrow is Clemson -7 at Wake Forest. Wake Forest hasn't beaten Clemson since 2008. I know Wake Forest has the quarterback came back, Hartman. Their offense is pretty good, but the main way to stop the spread offense is to get at the quarterback. Clemson's got one of the best defensive lines in the country.
100%.
Last 4 years, the scores, Clemson won all 4, of course. 48-27, 37-13, 52-3, 63-3. I mean, Wake Forest and Clemson, it's the perfect matchup for Clemson to stop. -7 just doesn't feel like enough.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And the casual would say, well, what about DJ Uga-Ungale? They are terrible. Their offense is awful. Well, I mean, I don't know how many Wake Forest is going to score, to be quite frank. And, I'm with you. I think -7 is not enough. It opened up at -11, which tells you what Vegas thinks. And then the market moved it down. So, I'm with it.
You mean just run through all of them that I like?
Here's a juicy one.
Because I got a handful.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, so another one that I like. This goes back to you talking about Oregon earlier. Washington State +7 at home versus Oregon. So Oregon looked great last week against BYU, but Bo Nix at home is a different animal than he is on the road. This is by year his touchdowns to interceptions. At home, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. On the road, starting with last year, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 4 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's a completely different quarterback. His QBR goes down by like 60 points going from home to away. And, I mean, like we've said, Washington State is good. They have a good defense.
Yeah, they are good.
And Cam Ward, he still hasn't even really clicked, I don't think. Like, he's being pretty efficient, but that offense hasn't clicked to the next level yet.
And you could get him as a home dog for a touchdown. I mean, they're going to protect this paint, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Protect the house.
We just saw how good Washington is. Like, and now Washington State, just a little bit up the road, we see how good the home field advantages are there. I like NC State minus 38.5 over UConn. UConn is awful. That's the only reason I'm taking this. Has nothing to do with really NC State, more to do with just how bad UConn is. And people are down on NC State because of week 1 against East Carolina, when really they're a good team. They're the second best team in the Pac-12, I think. I mean, in the ACC. I have UCF minus 21 at home versus Georgia Tech. This is where UCF is a tough place to play. The bounce house. And this is where they like to flex when they play these bigger schools. And Georgia Tech's a big name, but they're not a good team. And that's all I think I'll be taking. I have a parlay, the Hail Mary parlay. It's Clemson money line, which is minus 285. James Madison over App State, which is plus 215. James Madison's good.
I love that. Dude, I told you at the beginning of the year, James Madison, I think I almost took him or maybe I did take him for the over wins, but they were really good in the FCS, and that they're coming over to the FBS, and that they're going to just wear out the Sun Belt Conference. And I believe they're undefeated still.
They are.
They might have dropped one.
No, I think they're 3-0.
So, I mean, I like this pick. I don't think App State's really that great. I think they're tough. I think they're tough, but I mean, they almost got beat by Troy last week. It literally took a miracle.
Yeah,
and that'll be. You're going to tell me they're going to win 3 good matchups in a row. I mean, I think it's a really good spot for James Madison, to come in, make their statement. James Madison's a great program. They're already established, in the FCS. They're already a winning team, a winning program. So they're going to come into Boone tomorrow with a mission, hey, we're here. This team is everybody knows who they are. Game day was here, and we're going to spank them. And y'all are going to know that who we are. So I think it's a good spot.
Yeah, it's a perfect letdown spot.
Unfortunately, I cannot take that one.
For a perfect letdown spot for App State. They beat Texas A&M 2 weeks ago, and then they won on a Hail Mary against their rival last week. And then I have Washington State money line, which is plus 205 versus Oregon. Which you're not going to get rich betting parlays, but this is plus 1,200. Put $50 on it, you win $600. So it's not, I wouldn't recommend that, but I like doing that every once in a while. Just take a couple dogs, money line, throw them in a parlay. You can throw $15 on it and try to make $250.
Yeah, I'm with that. I did the same thing, but in baseball a couple nights ago, and it hit. And I got on a free play, hit $100. So now I have even more to play with for this weekend, which is what it's all about.
Yep.
Sorry, I had my head down looking at my phone because I was taking Washington State. Let's see. Another juicy one that's kind of in a weird spot is it's going to be the night game on ABC. Is Wisconsin at Ohio State, and Ohio State is a 19.5 favorite.
Yeah, Ohio State, this is your put-up or shut-up game. You have to prove it now how good your offense is. Is your offense what everyone said it is? Because Wisconsin's not any good. They're not.
No, They're really not. But that's why the 19 has me feeling weird, like, are they trying to tell me it's going to be a close game? I just feel like it's not, but I feel like Vegas is trying to say, like, hey, it's going to be a close game. You might want to look at it. So I just don't know.
Yeah, they're like, hey, Ohio State their offense only looked good one game, and they were playing a nobody.
Yeah. It's really hard, man. I don't know. It just has me thinking so much, like, what are they trying? I always try to think, what are they trying to tell me? Like, last week we said Washington was a 2-point favorite at home over Michigan State, and we were saying, like, they're telling us it's going to be a blowout, but they want us to take Michigan State. I think that's what we said.
No.
Or maybe it was the other way around.
Because Michigan State was ranked.
Yes, that's right. Because Michigan State was ranked, and 11th. They were the dog going to Washington. Yes.
Right.
And we said it was going to be a slaughtering, and it was.
Yeah.
So I try to look at that, and it's games like Georgia State, Coastal Carolina that make me double check myself. Like, I think that Georgia State's gonna kind of hold the fort down, and they're just not the better team, and I kind of get lost in the facts, which has me overthinking it today. So, I mean, it is what it is. Another good one, not a ranked matchup. It is a 12 o'clock matchup. Duke at Kansas. Kansas is a 7.5 favorite. I told y'all before the year that Duke, I think it was after week 1, that Duke looks a lot better than they used to, and now they've already hit their over. But Kansas also looks a lot better than they used to. So it's like, what do you do in this spot? How are they even playing? And they're both up this year. It's incredible. Like, what a time to be alive.
I want them to pause this game and don't play it. I want to stop both teams' season as it is right now, and I want to push this game back to December when nobody else is playing.
Yep.
And I want a doubleheader. I want Duke versus Kansas football in the morning, Duke versus Kansas basketball in the afternoon.
Yep.
And I want both teams undefeated in both.
See, this is what I want. This is what I want to happen. I want it to be like at Jerry World or something and treat it like a Final Four. They play that 12 o'clock kick, put it on Fox. I don't care. Put it up. Do the big noon kickoff at 12. Put it in the Jerry Dome. Sell it out. Whatever. Who cares? And then get everybody out. And then for prime time, we got the court out there in Jerry World like it's a Final Four matchup. And it's just, it's blue blood versus blue blood. Like, oh, man, how awesome would that be?
It would be. This is probably the only chance they'll ever have that. Like, how often does... I'm pretty sure... I know we said Kansas already hit their over. Ain't that who it was?
Yep.
And now Duke...
Yeah,
I think Duke was like 4.5, maybe?
Duke's is 3.
3.5?
I think it's 3, or it was 3.5. So they got one more to get. Right?
There it is.
Yeah.
Two blue bloods just battling and stay undefeated. Take the over. Both the offenses are pretty good. Take the over.
Take the over. It's 63.5. Obtainable. It seems like a lot, but it's obtainable. 12 o'clock kick. It's going to be a lot of fireworks in the morning. If Auburn is going in a way, whichever way you want it to go, and if it's going the opposite way, you might want to flip it over to this game just to have some fun. If you want Brian Harsin out of there and you want Auburn to lose, and they start winning, maybe you get out of there, cool off, watching one of the best basketball matchups play on the turf. All right. It's the elephant in the room, I would say. Arkansas, A&M, Jerry Dome, which is weird that we just brought that up. A&M -2.5. What are you thinking?
I don't think either one of these teams are any good. If I was going to bet it, I think I would just take A&M, just because they're favored. And, like, the line's so close, and it's, you know, I mean, really, it is kind of a mutual site just because Arkansas is, like, right there. So it isn't like it's too much of travel for them to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it's dead the middle.
But I just don't think either one of these teams are any good.
I don't either. I think Max Johnson being the quarterback means something. But I also think Arkansas just being extremely tough to play. Like, they're just a tough team. So it's like, who's going to be tougher? Because A&M has a really good defense. Arkansas can put points on the board. Arkansas's defense is hurt. And A&M's offense ain't that great. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird matchup because it's like strength versus weakness on both sides.
Yeah.
Whichever way you look at it.
I mean, it's a big game for the West.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's huge because, I mean, whoever wins this game, I mean, if both of them get their crack at Alabama, of course, Arkansas gets it at home. I mean, this is huge. This is for like pretty much second and third.
Yeah.
Ole Miss will get their say as well. I don't know. I think honestly, I'll probably just stay away from this game and enjoy it, or have it on in the background during the Alabama game.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much all college, right? Unless you've got some more.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much all I wanted to hit on.
What would be your best play?
Best play. Let me pull up my. This might be dead wrong because a lot of quote experts are picking Oregon State, but USC, man, I don't see. This is what I don't understand. Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell you. It's USC minus 6.5 on the road at Oregon State at Corvallis. You can't. These quote experts can't sit here and tell me how good of an offense and good of a play caller Lincoln Riley is, and how good of an offense they have, and how good Caleb Williams is, and all the wide receivers they have, and then they go on the road to an unranked Oregon State team who I don't even know one player on their team, and you're going to sit here and tell me that they're going to go and struggle. Struggle with what? I just don't understand. Like, it's a touchdown favorite for a team that just will score on you at will. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I have no problem taking this minus 6.5. It might be dead wrong. I might be wrong. Oregon State might have an absolute hammer in their bag and that I don't know about, because who cares about Oregon State? But, yeah, I'm locking that one in. Honestly, might double down on it. I got a unit on it. I might go double down. I might go 2 U's. Yeah,
I'm with you. Like, I don't know why you would go against USC right now. They've given you no reason why you shouldn't trust them. And Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison, that's the best duo in the country. They clicked immediately. And yeah, they're going to be tough to stop. I don't know if Oregon State can keep up with them.
Yeah, I just don't see how. I mean, they talk about these experts that talk about how great USC's offense is, and then they say, like, well, USC can't stop anybody. Why does it matter? When has that ever mattered ever in the Pac-12? It never has. The only place that's ever mattered is at Stanford, because all they do is run 8 tight ends at you, and good luck. I mean, get out of here. I hate these people who like contradict themselves week to week. Stay true to yourself,
Let's dig into some NFL now.
Let's go. Let's get to something different.
So, you want to go through just all the games real quick, and just kind of touch on the ones that you like?
Yeah, list them all.
Okay, you get.
If you got them.
Yeah, I got everything. You get Ravens by 2.5 at the Patriots. Over/unders 44. I'm not going to play this one, but if I was going to, I'd probably go Ravens by 2.5. They just look so good. Well.
Yeah, I think the Ravens are the better team. Going to New England isn't the same as it used to be, but the Patriots defense is still fine. Like, they're still good, but at 3 points, I was expecting this to be like 5 or 6, to be honest, but at 3, I would take the Ravens.
You get the Bills -5 at the Dolphins. Over-under is 53. I say just blindly bet the over. I'm definitely going to take this. Both offenses are crazy good.
Take the over, yeah.
The Bills' defense looked really good, too.
You said it's at the Dolphins?
At the Dolphins.
Yeah, so, anytime you think of Miami, you're not thinking home field advantage in any sport. So it's not like that's going to matter. It's just going to be great weather. That's all you're going to have. That's all you need to think about when you think Miami. So I'd say offense for sure.
And
is his name Marcus Hyde? I believe he's out or questionable. So that's something to watch.
Tre'Davious White is out. So the Bills will have 2 rookie cornerbacks guarding Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So that's
give
why,
me the over.
Yeah, that's why I said just take the over. It's the highest over of the week, too. So usually those pay off just blindly taking those overs. You get the Bengals -6 at the Jets. Over-under is 45. This is one of my favorite plays. I have 2 that I really like this week. Bengals by 6 is my play. Like, you look at how bad the Bengals offensive line has looked, and they've faced T.J. Watt and Micah Parsons. Like, those guys are going to make offensive lines look bad all year.
Yeah.
Now you get the Jets. The Jets don't have a guy like that. They don't have anybody that can. That's 2 of the 4 best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that it's a little oversold how bad their line is. It's definitely very bad, but I think this is the week that they figure it out.
Yeah, and the Bengals aren't just going to be bad all year. They're going to be slow, starting out. As we knew before. Not just looking at matchups, just historically, second place teams don't come out the gates extremely hot.
Yeah.
So, I think this is a perfect. The Jets, barely winning, coming back against the Browns. The Bengals, kind of having a heartbreak loss to the Cowboys. I think this is a perfect spot for the Bengals to come back. There's a term for that. I'm not sure what it is. I hear these NFL, these old NFL bettors talk about it, but I just don't know. I can't remember what it is. They call it trash water or something. It's something weird. But I guess it's when the better. It's like when a worser team barely edges out a win and the better team loses the week before, and those teams play each other. You always bet that better team that lost.
Yeah, it's a flip flop. The flip flop method, basically.
Yeah, I like that. We'll call that. We'll patent that, the flip flop.
We're like a team that covers one week is playing a team that doesn't cover the week before. You take the team that didn't cover the week before.
Correct.
I'm going to skip the Saints and Panthers just because that game sucks. Lions at Vikings. I think this will be... But people are overselling how bad the Vikings looked against the Bills. Well, like we said, Kirk Cousins prime time. Kirk Cousins get the 12 o'clock game at home, in the Dome against the Lions. I think they're going to light it up. Over-under's 52.
Built different, man. Yeah. Kirk Cousins doesn't just get his name thrown around in MVPs every once in a while for no reason. It's not for a whole season, but after a couple weeks, he'll get hot because he just plays 12 o'clock games at home, probably in domes, and or his away games will be in domes, and people are like, man, Kirk Cousins looked like an MVP. And then obviously it's not a story that can stand up on itself, but it's something to talk about, and there's good reason. One, he has incredible weapons. 2, he's not an awful quarterback. It's just when those lights get turned on and it gets dark outside, he just turns into a Muppets version of himself, and I don't know what happens. But Yeah, this is actually my survivor pool. This is the pick I took. I mean, it was a pretty tough matchup week, honestly.
It was very tough
because you still kind of learning different teams and how they're going to be. But I felt pretty good about this one, and Aiden Hutchinson is banged up, so he won't be as much of a force as he probably would be. He just couldn't handle the Commanders in the second half last week. You know, what can I say? We're not going to talk about what happened in the first half, but yeah, I like the Vikings here.
Yeah, I'm not going to take the spread just because I'm not betting against Dan Campbell. Like, that's all he does is cover spreads. I think he's like 13-6 against the spread as a head coach. So I would just take the over. Over 52. Both offenses have looked good. And now you get, like you said, in a dome
for sure.
On a fast track. I like the over. Chiefs at Colts. It's Chiefs by 5.5 at the Colts, who have looked awful so far. But, you know, they're a good team. Or we think they're a good team.
Yeah, this is very sus. Very sus line here. This is take the Chiefs. It's going to be a blowout to the casual, and then the pros are all taking the Colts because it's like at some point they have to click. And, I mean, why not against the Chiefs' defense? Like, they're not anything special. I mean, they're probably just like an average NFL defense, I would say. And, like, the Colts know they have to put up points here. So, like, they're probably going to do it. I mean, they have a veteran quarterback. They have a very good running back. They have good receivers. They have a good line on both sides. So, I just don't understand why they came out so slow. I don't understand. I'd have to go back and watch. I mean, the Colts aren't a team that I necessarily like watch a ton, but I do like to keep up with Matt Ryan. So I don't know what the deal is, but I mean, it's definitely not been a good start.
I think they have the team to win it outside of their wide receivers. I think last year they had the worst wide receiver core, and now Michael Pittman Jr. has been pretty beat up, so I don't think that helps.
Yeah.
I've got some stats for Patrick Mahomes versus the Colts defensive coordinator, who was with the Raiders the last couple of years. Mahomes is 6-1 against him, 33.2 points per game, 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he lights this guy up. But then, like you said, like I think the casuals, I think the Chiefs are probably the heaviest bet team every week by casuals. And honestly, I thought the line was going to be higher than this. I figured it'd be like Chiefs by like 9.5, just because how bad the Colts have looked.
Yeah, I did too. And it's just very sus to me. I don't know what I don't know. There must be some kind of matchup with the Colts. That might be something to look into. I don't know. It's just very weird that it's so low. Like, too weird.
Yeah, maybe just because it's a road game. I don't know.
Yeah.
We have a loser leaves town game. Raiders at Titans. I mean, both of these teams stink as well. We thought they were both going to be good. Both of them have looked very bad. It's Raiders by 2. Over-under's 45.5. You got anything on this one?
Yeah, I have a pretty hot take, and I'm willing to say it with my chest. If you can give me the amnesty of saying that Justin Fields is not an NFL quarterback, he's just playing as an NFL quarterback, I say that Ryan Tannehill is the worst quarterback in the league right now. He's the worst starting quarterback in the league. Cooper Rush is better than him. I don't care what anybody says. Ryan Tannehill is awful. He's always been awful. He's never been good. He's been average. He's not been good. And now he's terrible. I mean, he's one of the... How do you have Derrick Henry, who, yes, is he getting older? Yeah. Is he losing a step? Probably. He's still Derrick Henry, and he gets 5 yards falling forwards. Like, you have so much on your side, and you can't even keep A.J. Brown in town. And then now you're just a bum by yourself. Like, he's the worst quarterback in the league.
I will debate that a little. I think Ryan Tannehill is a very niche quarterback, to where he fits the Titans good I think he works really well, like off of play actions and stuff. So you pound Derrick Henry, you slide in a play action every once in a while. Ryan Tannehill's good, but if you get the lead on the Titans and he's forced to stand there in the pocket and just throw it, like it's impossible.
Awful.
He's
awful.
Like if it's 3rd and 9, you might as well just punt. Like he's not gonna get it. You might as well run it with Derrick Henry and then punt. So yeah, I will agree. He's
so bad.
He is one of the low tier quarterbacks. But I think if he was going to work anywhere, I think he would work maybe the Titans, maybe the Colts.
There.
Yeah.
And that's why he's been there for so long and signed 2 contracts with them. Like he's been good enough. They've won a lot of games, obviously. Like they were the 1 seed last year. They were obviously frauds, but it is what it is. Like, you win games, you get the seed, So it's and it's fine, but like now it's over. Like you don't have AJ Brown, Julio's gone. Not that he was much of a factor, anyways. But he's just not the guy. He's not the guy.
Yeah. This is my second favorite play, or my other favorite play. Eagles by 6.5 at your commies. Over under is 47.5.
Yeah.
This is a typical, like, we saw the Eagles on primetime. They looked incredible. Jalen Hurts looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now he has to go to that crap hole that y'all have. They tried to kill him last year when the wall almost fell on top of him. He can't. He
almost got him too.
It did almost get him. And you can't redo what he did last week this week. So I'm taking the Commanders plus 6.5.
Let's go. Let's go. I don't know how much I like that pick. Honestly, I think the Commanders, as weird as this sounds, man, like the Commanders have what it takes to get after him defensively. And if Chase Young was there, like good luck, Jalen Hurts. You're about to be just on the ground all day. But he's not there. But they still have Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne. Like, I know their names because they went to Alabama, but they're solid linemen. Like they're pretty good. I think Carson Wentz has kind of like found his groove a little bit. People are saying like don't buy in on Carson Wentz yet. Like this is what he does, and on the contrary, I think it's like a fresh start. Like people are starting to get behind him, and he's got a ton of weapons. Soon when Brian Robinson gets back, he'll have 2 running backs that are probably average or above, just solid NFL running backs. And then the speed on the outside is incredible. And then, what's his name? The tight end, Thomas or Logan?
Logan Thomas.
Logan Thomas is also solid. So, I like this pick now that the more I talk about it. And it's just going to be boring. So Lindsay's out of town this weekend, and I was looking at maybe going, like just driving over there and going, but like tickets were like $100. So maybe there will be, this is kind of a rivalry. It's a divisional game, so going to be a lot of people there. It's a big stadium. It holds like 90,000. So that place might get rocking too.
Plus, like I said earlier in the week, Washington has this effect on people. People go there to get hurt in Washington. And
yep.
I would never wish that on anybody, but it just feels like a storybook. Jalen Hurts is where he is right now. This is where it's possible he gets hurt here. And then everybody's like, well, what could have been? This could have been his MVP season. That just feels like a storyline that we get once a year. Or A.J. Brown or somebody, and it just wrecks the Eagles season. Because right now a lot of people are thinking like Eagles-Bills Super Bowl.
Right.
Like those are the 2 favorites right now. Yeah.
Wrapped up. Yeah. I rode with the Commanders last week stupidly, not thinking about what the Detroit Lions had defensively, especially at home. And it cost me, but I think I might give them the redemption. I think there's no accident I have the Heineke shirt on right now.
Plus the way your chain sits on that shirt, it looks like you have a 4 emblem hanging off of it. Like it's just for Heineke.
Yeah, that's right.
We have probably...
I want to get a Heineke jersey so bad.
Is he even still there? He's the backup, ain't he?
Yeah, he's the third string. Well, if Carson Wentz got hurt, he'd probably go in. But if like Carson Wentz got hurt at the end of a game, and it didn't matter, I think Sam Howell probably starts the next week. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like Heineke's like the emergency backup just because he's experienced, but Sam Howell would get like the start.
This game's awful. We can skip it to Texans at Bears. Bears are favored by 3.
Ooh.
If you're betting on this game, you have bigger nads than I do.
You might want to go you might want to call that gambling number if you bet on this game.
No joke. This is going to be a brutal watch.
Nobody's watching this game.
We have the Jags at the Chargers. This line was 7, and now it's moved down to 3, which basically tells me that Herbert's not going to play.
Yeah, I wish I would have grabbed that 7.
Yeah, if you grab the +7.
I was looking at it because the Jaguars aren't terrible.
No,
they play hard.
Yeah, and you can see the Walker guy from Georgia. He looks really good. Trevor Lawrence starting to figure it out. I'm not touching this one, but just because Herbert's probably going to be out, Keenan Allen's probably going to be out. You get Packers-Bucks. Last year, this game would have been a banger. This year, it's 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks with really good defenses and no weapons. There are no good wide receivers in this game. Everyone's hurt or in Oakland.
Yeah.
But it's Bucks by 1. Over-under's 42. If I was going to take anything, I'd probably just take the under. Just because I think the Bucks will just try to milk it and keep the ball as long as possible. Playoff Lenny, too.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Lenny Fournette tweeted that, he's let down his fantasy owners so far, so that stops this week. He's getting a tutty. He's getting in the end zone. I like that. Acknowledge the people that put trust in you and drafted you.
I'm with that. Like if I was a professional player, especially NFL, I would go to my press conferences and I would have like some kind of way where I read out fan mail, like fan questions. Like they're like, hey, was just wondering why you hit the A gap. It just looked a little bit smaller compared, like instead of bouncing it, and then you give the reason why. You're like, well, yeah, you break down the film for them. You know what I mean? Because they're like your coach too. You know.
For sure.
And I think it would be cool. This is your job is to play football, right? So you're just out kind of having fun doing I just they say putting in that work, but what kind of work are you putting in? You're just kind of working out and stuff. That's stuff that kids do. So why not have fun with it? You know what I mean? That's what I would do. I mean, but I'm just also a cooler person than most NFL players as well. So,
we have Falcons.
I noticed I said most.
Yeah, the most being Russell Wilson. But you have Falcons at Seahawks.
Correct.
Seahawks favored by 1. Another game. This started as a pick'em, so if you're going to bet it, I would take the Seahawks at home. I wouldn't put faith in either one of these teams, though. They're both very bad. But the line moved towards Seahawks.
If you bet this game, call that hotline.
1-800-GAMBLER, I think is what it is.
Yeah. I just, I like the Falcons here. The Falcons offensively aren't that they're not that bad, but they're not there yet.
Mariota has looked better than I thought. I think he fits their system better.
Yeah, and they have some good weapons too, Drake London, and obviously they have the unicorn,
Kyle Pitts,
who
hasn't done anything this year.
No, but he really didn't. He didn't start off hot last year either. So he just got to kind of get the ball rolling. Big guy, takes him a while. You know what I mean? They have another guy. Well, Calvin Ridley, but he's not there.
He'll be betting on this game.
Zacchaeus. Yeah, he probably will. Zacchaeus something or Zacharias, something like that. He's kind of good too. So I don't know, but I would stay away just for mental health reasons, and there's no reason to push it.
another game like we talked about. One team covers, one team don't. The Cardinals in primetime last week, everyone's talking about how good they looked. You get Rams at Cardinals. Rams are favored by 3.5. Even though Matt Stafford hasn't looked great this year, I still think this is just the perfect spot to take the Rams. Even though it's on the road.
I think so too.
It's just, I think the Cardinals are a little inflated just because of what they did last week, which really they were only good for like a half.
Yeah, I'm with that. And Sean McVay has like an incredible record against. There's a certain. He's like 6-1 against
Kingsbury.
It's not just Kingsbury. It's like a certain coach like Kingsbury. Maybe it's like offensive something. I might have to look that up and like post it on Twitter or something because I feel embarrassed that I even brought it up now. But it's a great line. He's like 6-1 against something. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But just know he's 6-1 against people like Kingsbury, and they didn't cover last week. Just take the Rams. Source is trust me, bro.
Yeah, and they're friends. Like McVay and Kingsbury are pretty tight. You get the 49ers are favored by 1.5 at the Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are any good. I don't think letting Russ cook is the move.
Yeah, he's not much of a chef.
He's not as good as he thinks he is.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, Future still bodies him on a regular, which is hilarious. And I think that sticks in the back of his mind. I think he tries to let free, and he just can't. He just has Future banging on those Bose.
Yeah, if you
headphones that he wears.
If you feel uncomfortable with your wife around any man, you can't be my starting quarterback. I don't care who it is.
No.
Who the guy is.
No. It doesn't matter if it's, I don't even know who's, like, I don't know. Lindsay used to have class with Jerry Judy.
Liver
you
King.
Think I was worried?
Would you feel comfortable?
Liver King. I don't care.
You, Lindsay, and Liver King in a room? Are you worried about him snatching?
I'd be comfortable with Lindsay in any room with anybody, to be honest. And that's how it should be.
Yep. But Russ is not. He's very insecure.
Yep.
And, he left the Seahawks basically, wanted out because they were wanting to run the ball more. Pete Carroll was. And now he comes to the Broncos, and, like, if the Broncos offense wants to look better, they need to run the ball more. Like, him throwing the ball 38 times and completing 19 of them isn't good.
No.
The Monday Night Football game, another one. Actually, this is a good betting spot. Primetime games are going under basically every time. I think it's like 4-1 or something like that this year. I know it's more than that, but something along those lines. The unders hit. Over-under is 39, and it's the Cowboys at the Giants. The Giants are 1-point favorites. Another time, both of these teams stink. We saw the Cowboys last week. They scored one time, and then they just tried to, end the game there. So I would take the under if I took anything. You might just have to let it ride.
Sorry, I just had a phone call from my mother.
You're good.
She wants to know how I did my softball game tonight.
Shout out to Brenda.
Yeah, shout out. She just cares a lot.
She does. But that's all the NFL games. I have 2 MLB stats to close us out. First one last night, Zach Gallen, pitcher for the Diamondbacks. 8 innings pitched, 12 Ks, no walks, 2 hits, under 100 pitches thrown. He's the first pitcher in the modern era to do this, and he lost. They give up 2 runs in the 9th. He loses the game 3-2. Zach Gallen should be the Cy Young winner in the NL, and he has no chance because his team just can't win for him.
It's awful. It's tragic, honestly. It's terrible.
Last stat, my Aaron Judge stat of the day. Aaron Judge has a WAR, which is wins above replacement, higher than 9 MLB teams. Also, his next 2 games are on Apple TV. So hopefully he doesn't hit 61 or 62 tomorrow. Hopefully he hits it, on Sunday Night Baseball. Because if it's on Apple TV, you'll never see it.
That's right. And that's so dumb. It's so dumb. I hate that.
I do.
And their commentators are terrible.
Awful. It's the girl that used to do the Snapchat for ESPN is one of them, I think. Just get us to Sunday, Aaron. Get to Sunday, hit both of them on primetime TV.
Just wait it out. How about Barry Bonds giving the shout out or giving the call out that he wants Aaron Judge in San Fran?
How about Barry Bonds needs to keep his mouth shut?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that Barry Bonds is making a case, which I think every pro or franchise should be making a case. I think the Korean team should be making a case. He needs to open up his email, at the end of the season, and it's like, hey man, it's the GM for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just wanted to chat. Just wanted to tell you that we had interest in you. All right, thanks. Give me a call back. Bye. Everybody, literally everybody. Because why not? What are you going to lose? Not games. That's for sure.
Yeah, if Aaron Judge leaves, I'm not going to be mad at him. Aaron Judge did enough for me. So the people that think that joke of can't wait to watch Aaron Judge do this for the Red Sox next year. Can't wait. The Red Sox couldn't even re-sign Mookie Betts. You think they're going to sign Judge for double that?
Yeah, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Even if he did, I'm sure it's an inside job for, it's like Aaron Judge is up there with, he's talking to Brett Gardner and Andy Pettit and all the greats CC Sabathia, and they're like, hey man, what if you went to the Red Sox and just sucked?
Bit of plant.
He's like, sick word, let's get it. He's starting off the plan great, hitting 60 home runs. So
find a new joke.
Something to think about. Yeah, that's kind of an old joke.
Same joke over and over.
It's terrible. Even the GOAT, Michael Jordan, went to a different team. It's not a good joke. Nobody laughs. You're the only one that laughs, and you laugh at when you're given that the nose blowing out, air blowing out your nose laugh. Shut up.
Yeah, it's played out. Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball. He did enough for me. He can go wherever he wants. I will not be affected by it.
I do hope that he goes back to the Yankees, just because I think that'd be cool. And then, but I hope they get the years right. I hope it's not too many years. And then,
looks like Pujols just hit number 700. Got the juice balls.
Again, did he? Did he though?
Yeah, that's what the group message is saying.
Oh, really? Wow. What a time to be alive.
Let's shut this down so I don't have to make... Or go ahead.
Okay. So, sorry. Where was I at? Oh, I hope Judge goes to the Yankees, and I hope DeGrom goes to the Braves. And that's all I'm going to say.
I don't know where DeGrom's going to go.
It's going to be the Braves.
I think he'll end up just with the Mets again.
I think he wants out. I think he wants out with the Mets.
I wouldn't blame him.
Wouldn't you want out with the Mets?
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody plays. I don't know why the Mets are a thing.
I'll tell you what scares me. The one team that scares me of stealing Judge is the Mets. Because I think Steve Cohen just has FU money. And he's grown up as a Mets fan his entire life and might just say FU the Yankees and just sign their best player. Just give him a blank contract.
But, why, though?
Because he can. Why did he sign Scherzer?
But, why the Mets?
They're the only team willing to spend it.
There's nothing cool about the Mets. Nothing. Except Mike Piazza playing for the Mets, and his name kind of sounds like pizza.
Nope.
Playing in the pizza capital of the world.
It don't sound like pizza. It's spelled like pizza.
Whatever, man. Tomato, tomato.
Anyways.
I don't get it. I hate the Mets.
Good gambling corner rant right there. Good luck to everybody
that was
tomorrow.
good. Let's get after it, man. Let's make some money. And if you don't bet, that's fine. Just watch the game for enjoyment and eat good wings or something.
But that's all I got.
All right.
Love you guys.
Deuces.